Hey guys, what's up? It's Grade. I'm here with my KFC build, the Korean fried chicken build. I've been playing this for the following past weeks and stuff, and here it is. I'm gonna show it off. Let's go look at this map. We're in augury, right? The reason I'm here is to show you that the best part about this is there's no body blocking, and you don't have to worry about area presence. Oh my god, my friend is blocking it. Hang on. So this is the map, right? Map mods, increased magic monsters, rares, area of effect. Nothing too crazy. Just so we can really show off like how the build plays, right? 27% delirium. So the thing is, right, we're using spectres and we're using the vile vulture, and when you summon and desummon, when you resummon these guys, they attack immediately into their jumping animation. So it's really good, and it also heals them too. If they're at like half life and you see them and you summon and resummon, they immediately come back with full life, right? As long as there's a little timer that shows up. If one of the skeletons dies and you do that, they'll go on respawn time. But maps like this, like augury, right? These used to be terrible maps. Everybody hated these maps. Like there's a bunch of like body blocking, and it sucks with all the minions. Every minion, this map sucks. Except maybe Oscrix's build, which is, you know, summon fire based. Like, and then maybe, you know, frost mages. You can give it up for frost mages. They're like a caster though. You're like an extra steps caster. A really good extra steps caster. See, I just resummoned them without paying attention to the respawn timer. So that could happen if you're not paying attention, which I'm not. Right? But other than that, it's kind of how it is. You just kind of drop them off. When you're in a situation where you need more attack speed, you just pop Pain Offering, because that leap slam scales with attack speed. Oh, and you know what? I don't even have my Blasphemy on. So I'm running Rupture the Soul with Blasphemy because it helps with clear. If you resummons your minions, remove the curse. Oh, really? The guys in the chat are talking about this patch. So we're talking about how temp change is terrible now. But see, what I do is if they get stuck in the back, you just resummon them. They jump right out and they attack. Right? And they do pretty decent damage. They're not as strong as my Storm Mages. They're about half as strong as all of my 11 Storm Mages, right? In terms of DPS. And that's a trade I'm willing to take. With how good this plays and how it feels. Yeah, I sold my +4 Sun Splinter last night. I was like, you know what? Let's sell that. I don't think I'm going to play Storm Mages again. I've played Storm Mages all season. And you know, they're still a great minion and it's fun. It's just, for how this feels, with how you're able to command and navigate the maps, I enjoy this a lot better. Like not having to worry about bad maps, you know, having to play around poor minion AI. Like a lot of the weaknesses with minions is having to play with poor AI. Like they get stuck at the back of the bus. See, look at these guys. Immediately jumping into the next room and clearing for me. Hang on, let me pick this stuff up. I had a glitch. So you resummon, they immediately jump out. You basically have automatic heat-seeking missiles. I can see this ability for the spectres getting nerfed because they attack immediately after resummoning. So you could resummon. Kind of very similar to how Oscrix plays his RF build. You know, I'm also running Incinerate just because it's kind of cheap. You can use it for Energy Barrier to start your Energy Shield recharge. In the video with T4 Zesht, I basically use Energy Barrier to just face tank him. Here's Kosis. See Kosis get annihilated. Right? It's fun. I don't want to stand in anything that's going to kill me. And you're basically, your defenses are it's like your defenses are, you're about as squishy as you normally would be with any other summon build, right? If you're squishy with your Storm Mages, you're going to be squishy with this. So your survivability is just going to be depending on how good your gear is and your Energy Shield recharge. So if you look at my Energy Shield, it's just recharging, right? Because I have Incinerate on. I will summon a Pain Offering and then just keep that on. So I can just face tank all the stuff. Move on to the next place. Drop these guys off. We'll go over all the skills and everything after the map. But yeah, so this is the new patch, right? With the new patch, I guess there's some changes. There's only like, it's a whack patch for minions. I don't mean to start ranting about it, but it's fucking whack. I mean, it's nice. I have the talisman for the head that gives you 5% reservation reduction. That's kind of nice because of that, I have 5 vultures. You know, so I guess I can't be too bad, but it's like, you know, I'm getting like $5 while everyone else gets like $50. The new shit might be corrupted Mjolnir with +5 lightning. Dang, see, that's kind of nice. So +5 lightning to all lightning spells, lightning skills. If that's the case, then you can be Mjolnir with a bunch of storm mages. It seems like there's a hard-on for lightning this patch. It's the lightning hard-on patch. See, also with this build, you can 0 button. You can just run around, roll around, and then have your vultures just kind of position for you. It's just, it feels really good to desummon and summon and then send them out like heat-seeking missiles. Okay, let's do this breach. All right, I have extra density in here, so let's see if I can go all the way to one side. One side and back. Come on, somebody stun me. I need more energy shield. There you go. See, they immediately come back too. Like if they leave you and say you don't want to resummon and summon, they immediately jump towards you. It's not like they're, you know, slow, stuck in the back. If I decide to change directions and run the other way without resummoning, they immediately switch over to another side. And this part's fun too when they start chainsawing. It's pretty enjoyable. $57 fragments, not bad, right? And see, this is an augury map. Everybody hates augury. Every map like this is terrible. Mire, augury, it was like the bane of everyone's existence. But with this setup, with these guys, oh my god, it's great. There's a lot of different things too you can do to set it up, whether you want, how you want to allocate your skill points. I haven't worked all that stuff out yet. This is just the build that I'm using for now. But when I polish this off, you know, depending on what you want to do, if you want more like skill speed, more recharge rate, there's a lot of things that you can kind of do if you know what you're looking for. So here's a T4 Zesht, right? Same deal. I just died because I tanked the machine gun, the frost machine gun. I was just talking about how there's 2 ways. There's one way to die, which is get crushed by the one-shot hand. But I guess there's a second way, which is I've died to it before. If you tank the machine gun. If you tank the frost machine gun, you will die. But yeah, so anyway, here's the build, right? Just kind of jumping through. You can lead. It's tight. It's way more enjoyable than going through with frost mages. The thing is, if you despawn them, just make sure that your respawn timer is not up. Because if your respawn timer is up, then you gotta wait for the respawn time, obviously. And then summon a pain offering if you need more DPS. Because once you have a pain offering up, they just go crazy. Right, they're just everywhere. The thing is, they're melee. Oh, you know what? Duh. So, blasphemy. So, perfect example, right? I got through that whole little section without blasphemy on, but now I'll put blasphemy on and it'll get through better. So I've done this before, right, without blasphemy on here, but and you could still make it. It's, you know what, let's just do this. We'll do half of it with blasphemy off, so we don't have rupture the soul. How'd you get your regen instant? Oh, I'll show you. So you don't really need to have blasphemy for rupture the soul to do your clear to make it there, but it's just nice, you know. It's like a nice little quality of life thing, and it feels really good to have. See, we're here. Summon. Put up a pain offering. Resummon. Just kind of let them go through. Summon your pain offering. See, then I'll immediately, what I'll do is I'll summon them when I see the monster at the corner of the screen. So then it gives them time to prep to jump, and then they're right there. They'll be right in your presence area, attacking. The one downside I would say with the leap is that the leap is... Here, I'll put it on just so we can see blasphemy towards the end. Their leap slam, the AoE is in front of them. And sometimes when they jump, right, if you have slow attack speed, they'll jump and the monster they're jumping at will go behind them and they'll miss the AoE. So that's why it's really important to have a lot of attack speed with these guys. But once you have enough attack speed, dude, they're just like, it's a really good time. It makes it really enjoyable mapping, playing through, doing this kind of content. Tight maps are fine. I play these guys in a 6-player party, and they're actually more enjoyable in a 6-player party because they can get to the target on time. And another side benefit of this leap slam is that it stuns. The leap slam stuns on hit. So if monsters are casting or they're doing anything and they get hit by that leap slam, they immediately get interrupted. So you basically just have 5 burning chickens leap slam stunning all the time. Jesus. Right, and this is a T4. There's a lot of nice T2 stuff. Okay. Prismatic ring? Oh, T5 is low. Once you kill him, then you can show how you kill your bosses we messed up on. So the other thing too was what you're mentioning about that. The secret to this is staying alive long enough for them to get their DPS out, right? So that's my kind of secret to killing Zesht. Is, see, you could do something like this if you wanted more. But, you know what? I want this. I want to show off the chickens. We that dreamed. We in nightmare. We that. Alright, then make sure you get your buffs out. Summon your totem. Shock. And then I'll immediately start loading in that negative fire exposure. Then you just gotta wait. Make sure you don't get hit by the machine gun. Right? Don't get hit by the ice machine gun and don't get smashed by the one-hit hand. There you go, that puppet string guy. He's got multiple elements of that puppet string guy. That's the lightning one. It's whatever. The one you're worried about is the ice machine gun. Here are these hands. You could just tank through these hands. And if you spec the other 4 points for regen, it's immediately, you will immediately regen faster than this guy can kill you. Which right now is pretty good, right? 30 mil. There you go. That was actually the best case scenario. He never went underground. So even though it says 5 minutes as a clear time, I usually clear this 4:30 or right around under 4:30. All right, so let's talk about my gear real quick, right? I'm running on my offhand on a weapon set 2. You can put anything in here. I just have this in here so I have a weapon swap so that way, you know, I can desummon and unsummon the specters. Something that you might want is increased intelligence in case you don't have enough intelligence on your offhand to have convocation active or something like that. But anyway, I have a trench timber, +2 for minions with +30 spirit in here. Maybe we could change these soul cores out. I haven't really looked at it. But then, I don't know. We're kind of tight on spirit. But we'll see. I'm running 2 ever-grasping rings. Just try to get the best ones you can. I have one that I cursed with one I corrupted with rarity on it. They're not even maxed. I don't even have 30%ers. These are 28s. Right? This is the chess piece I've been using for a long time. Try to just get as high energy as you can, as many resistances as you can, and as much spirit as you can get. The amulet, this guy, you're going to want max energy shield on this. I think that, along with obviously +3 minion skills, 45 spirit, elemental res, that's a big one. You can try to get this as high as you can. If you can't get all elemental, just get a element, something to kind of help. And then you're gonna want as much energy shield as you can get. On this guy, I got it at 45, and then I modded it to get 50, so really good. And if you didn't know, these modifiers, if you hit 20 with those catalysts, you can actually add in a new catalyst and it'll just go over this. So you don't have to worry about like, oh fuck, I want to try, you know, attributes and then feel like you're locked in for life. You can actually just reapply a different modifier on it and it'll take over. And then I have this helmet here. This is a +1 minion helmet. I got this helmet for 48 divines, I think a few days ago, maybe, or like last week. So this is probably the most expensive thing of my gear right now for this setup. This and the prism belief +3. Here's my scepter. For the scepter, the important things, this one has a lot of spirit. I actually got this from somebody. So this could be a lot. Just try to get what you can. Try to get as much spirit as you can. The stats that you're looking for on this, what I have socketed in here is attack speed. Because the jump leap time for these vultures is tied to their melee attack. So the more attack speed you have, the faster the jump animation is. So it's actually better for you to have more attack speed, so that way they're constantly jumping and they're not missing their leap. Because if they have a slow leap, it's possible that they'll jump over a target because they're moving towards them, and then they'll miss the AoE. So it's kind of really important that you have as much attack speed as you can get. So I have one that has 16% attack speed with another 8. It would have been nice. I corrupted this. I was hoping to get a second socket. Instead, we got critical damage bonus. So at least it didn't brick. For your boots, obviously movement speed. Just try to get as high energy shield as you can get. I have 2 intelligence runes socketed in here because I don't have enough intelligence to run my skills. So it has to sacrifice energy shield for putting in 20 intelligence. Right, your belt, as much resistances as you can get, and 3 charm slots. For gloves, man, I even have more intelligence socketed in here, right? So if you can get gloves that have 30 int or something, that's even better. But the whole purpose of why I have it like this is because I have these 2 rings, and I'm trying to get maximum elemental res with those 2 rings. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. But this is something that you kind of have to like hunt for and kind of build out your character as you go. From my charms, I have a Barrow's charm in here. This thing has been dropping a lot, and I don't think it's that expensive anymore. But the reason I have this is because immunity to ignite. And it's really important if you're on CI. CI, if you get ignited, it sucks. It sucks. You can't recharge energy shield unless you use convalescence. And if that's down, you're screwed. Well, shit, I don't even know if you can ignite through, or if you can convalescent through ignite. You probably could. I haven't tried, but that's why I have ignite on here. I got rid of my slow charm just because I don't like dealing with the ignite. I found myself dying more to ignites, stopping my energy shield from recharging. And then a thawing charm for freeze, and then a stun charm is always nice. How do you ignite the birds? So we'll go into that. The ignite on the birds. So that's a good segue for the skills. Right, let's look at the skills. Everything is not super finalized on here. I kind of wanted to just put this out here to show you the build. And then what I'm working with it now. I've tried a lot of different ways we'll go about it. So for my skeletal warrior, I got death march in here so that way they heal if they die, heal the minions. I don't even know if I really need this because the vultures have so much health. They have like 50k life, right? They don't really have a problem dying. Sacrificial lamb is good, and then culling strike. I could probably put like maim in here or some other debuff, right? And this, I have exploit weakness in here, but don't worry about that. I was troubleshooting some stuff or trying some stuff. So the vile vulture, right? Let's look at the stats of the vile vulture. Max life is 46k. I don't know why it's so low. It should be 50k. I might have changed something around, but whatever. Right. Their life pool is kind of tied to their Infernal Legion. So let's look at this. It's 46k. Infernal Legion burns for 20% of their life. So 20% of this number is what the ignite is doing. And it's good for clearing trash. For now, I'm putting in an Infernal Legion because it's the best support that I found for these guys. So we're kind of like a little bit of taking some inspiration from like Oscrix's Righteous Fire build, right? And it's really nice. I actually do see a difference because if I miss an AoE leap, all the stuff around it starts just like melting away. It's kind of nice. It definitely helps. Right, total life recovery. They recover a lot of life, but then they're also taking damage from Infernal Legion as well. Armor, they got a lot of armor. 56% reduced damage reduction. I don't know how that math works, but I don't really have a problem with them dying. And if they are starting to die, I could immediately desummon and resummon them, and they're back to full life. Guess who just bought a +3 Spectre Prism for 12 chaos? No way, you got it for 12? Congratulations, dude. You should sell that shit for 50. Good job. But anyway, here's the resistances, right? The important part of the resistances is you need your fire resistance to be maxed at 83. Because if I take away a little bit of fire resistances, the Infernal Legion will start to kill the birds, and they won't be immune to the fire, essentially. Best deal ever. Sorry to go through the video. No, dude, you're good. It's fine. If you guys have questions, you should ask it. Elemental element threshold, none of that matters. None of this stuff matters, right? Movement speed modifier is 20%. So if you look at their basic attack, why is it so low? Oh, I know why. There you go. That was weird. Okay. Damage per second, right? Each one is only doing 34k. Now 34k is not a lot, right? If you look at our storm mages, it's easy to get 40k DPS storm mages and have like 11 of them. The problem with that, storm mages, then you're dealing with, you know, the usual minion issues of them body blocking. And not to say storm mages are bad, storm mages are great. If you're looking for something new and something that's a little fresh, you know, I'd say give spectres a shot. It's definitely worth playing these guys specifically. I'm sure there's other ones too. We'll talk about spectres, like there's a death knight and stuff. That's really good, but it's only good for bossing. Other than that, it's not good at much of anything else. Right, and then main fire damage, they have chaos damage, all this kind of stuff. But that's basically the DPS, unbuffed, right? 34. And this is their leap. The use time is 1.3 seconds. But it feels a lot faster than that. It feels like these guys leap a lot. So here's them buffed. All right, 54k. Pretty good. And there's 5 of them, so they're doing 250k DPS. Without shock and any other type of different modifiers that are debuffs on monsters, which is about, I want to say, like a fifth of my storm mages, but that's like a sacrifice I'm willing to take because I've been playing all this stuff this whole time. I really like how this feels. So use time hasn't gone down, but the basic attack time of the leap is pretty much, you know, 0.8 seconds. If you watch them leap around, it's basically 0.8 seconds. Okay, so those are the stats of the Vile Vulture, right? If you look at the jewels, Fire Infusion, I have Fire Infusion in here. I used to have Minion level +1, but Fire Infusion actually gives me higher overall DPS. And then with the fire exposure from the Incinerate, it boosts the Incinerate damage a little bit. Or it boosts the fire damage from the melee attacks a little bit. So it's kind of nice. Feeding Frenzy in here, that's kind of standard. Muster's in here. There's only 3 different minions, so it's only 21%, but, you know, it's fine. Martial Temple for faster attacks. And then Infernal Legion for the Ignite that we're doing. I've tried this with different setups. I've tried using, like, Execute with a low life helmet, the Deepest Tower. I've tried, like, Bloodlust while these guys apply Bleed. All trying these different supports on Zesht. And I think this is the best setup for now, for what I'm doing. Right here are my Storm Mages, level 34. Oh, by the way, these guys are corrupted +1. And these are my Storm Mages. These are also corrupted +1s from my old build. Right, they have Stormfire in here, so that way just one shock and things are always on fire, so the shock never goes away. Overcharge for a higher shock. Lightning Mastery for more damage. Controlled Destruction for more damage. And then Conduction for higher shock chance. The reason I have Controlled Destruction in here is just because the higher their damage is, the more elemental damage that they do, the higher the chance of shock is. My Skeletal Cleric, all I've got in here is Elemental Army. It's not even doing anything. And then Last Gasp support. Last Gasp. So it's kind of really bare bones, but this is what I like having. Withering Presence. I haven't used Withering Presence right now, but it's nice to have. I'll turn it on every once in a while if I feel like having a Withering Presence on. But I have Chaos Mastery and Upwelling. So this is to boost all the chaos damage because of the Ever-Grasping Rings. Right? You can do something like this. Turn that on. Withering. And then it goes as high as like 40-ish%. It just kind of sucks that I don't have enough spirit to get a Storm Mage with Withering Presence. In my previous setup of only 4 Vile Vultures, I can definitely do something like this. But for now, I really just like having 5. I really just enjoy having 5. Yo, Disrack, what's up, dude? I'm doing the video for our build here, for the KFC build. Right, so it's up to you, depending on how much spirit you have and what you want to sacrifice. I just like having 5 because it feels really good, and then I turn Blasphemy on for clearing. And then here you go, Incinerate. This is what I've been using. It's +1 from Fire Mastery, but I have Strip Away in here, so that way increased exposure. I don't even know if this works, right? Yeah, so I get as high as 60% of fire exposure. This thing says only up to 50, but with strip away, it goes up to 60. The mobility to move faster, arcane tempo, so it casts faster. The more cast speed, the more stacks you apply. The energy barrier is here, so that way if you get stunned while casting, it starts your energy shield recharge rate immediately. And then fire mastery for extra. So that's why if you see in the videos of mapping and fighting Zesh, I just sit there and just tank whatever damage. As long as you get stunned while doing this, you'll be fine. Energy shield recharge will start. Now, I'd rather have faster start of energy shield recharge of like 1 second, but we don't have enough skill points. So here's Pain Offering. Right, the usual stuff. I have it max level, level 19. Expanse, Ablation, Persistence. I have it on here just so it just lasts longer. You can put Persistence on Withering Presence if you want more stacks of Withering Presence. But this is how I have it. I have Meat Shield on here so this thing stays alive. And then Inspiration so it doesn't take as much mana whenever I cast it. Next one's Voltaic Mark. Get this guy at level 7 because this is the lowest level, so that way your dex requirement is only 52. Singled Out, this is in here to break armor. And then Unleash, so that way I can cast 2 seals of Voltaic Mark. It's alright. I really only use Voltaic Mark on bosses where I need to break armor. Are you going to play PoE 1? The second person that asked, do you guys want me to play PoE 1? And make some guides? If enough of you guys ask, I'll play PoE 1 and then I'll make beginner guides for it, because I am a novice at PoE 1. I've only played like 4 leagues. Demolisher, right? But I have some pro friends that can play and teach us secrets, and I can give you guys secrets. Demolisher is in here too. I didn't know if this worked, but it does, right? So big shout out to Oscrix for showing his tech and then allowing other people to copy it. So this Demolisher is on here. It immediately breaks armor. Do not put Splinter in here, because when I put Splinter in here with Demolisher, it was like conflicting or something, and it took a lot longer to break armor. So I took Splinter off, and I just have Demolisher in here. And then for Blasphemy, I only have the single curse in here. I don't have anything that increases the magnitude, because it increases the spirit reservation, right? And I don't have that much spirit to run all those different things. And you can run a variety of curses in here. I have Vulnerability in here, just to remove like 4,000 armor, which is nice, so that way my birds do more physical damage, because they're mostly physical damage. You can slot in Despair in here, so for chaos damage. It's really up to you. You could even put Temp Chains in there. Haven't played PoE 1? Damn, we might have to play PoE 1 then. Do you know. Dude, it's like an onboarding job interview. Just a sidebar comment. Yesterday when they were doing the showcase for PoE 1 and Mark was talking about all the different mechanics. I swear to God, dude, I thought I was at an onboarding job interview. Like, I just got the job and he was telling me what time to clock in, and you know, this is where your shoes go when you come in. I need you to sign these papers, fill out this shit for the W2 form. It felt like he was giving me instructions on how to fucking do a job, bro. I wasn't even playing a game, dude. He was like telling me all the shit. I was like, oh my God, dude. Like, are we really doing this, guys? We're getting ready to go to work? Okay. But anyway, yeah, we could play PoE 1. So here, Vulnerability is what I've got, right? And then Convalescence is Ingenuity support and Second Wind. So Convalescence, there's a couple ways to do this. I kind of don't like Second Wind, because if you put Second Wind on, right, the cooldown time for Convalescence, it goes through the roof. But it does have its uses, right? Cooldown's 46 seconds with Second Wind on. If you take the sucker out, it's 23 seconds. So it basically doubles the cooldown time for one cast. And having 2 casts is nice when you're bossing. But having 2 casts of 46 seconds when you're mapping, because you tend to get in trouble in mapping more consistently over a short amount of time, I find myself without charges of Convalescence while mapping. So I don't like to take things in and out. That's why I have it in here. But my preference is when I'm mapping, I only take Ingenuity. But if I'm fighting a boss, like a T4 boss, I want Second Wind in there. Because usually the boss fights, right, like sometimes they're over in 30 seconds, over in a minute. So it's better to have 2 charges. It just depends on how you feel. But yeah, so that's the general set of the skills. There's a lot of like synergy between the skills and the passive tree. We'll go into the passive tree. So this is how I have the passive tree set up. Right, I do a lot of changes. I do a lot of like moving around. Don't worry about these green lines. These green lines are a remnant of a sigil of power, and then I don't want to waste the money to take them off, right? It's like 7k gold just to fucking erase these green lines. So I don't care about that. Let's start off with the Lich Ascendancy. As you can see, I'm taking Rupture the Soul, right? Because I'm going CI. If you take the right side, Soulless Form and Eternal Life, with CI, you'll degen mana, and it's super annoying. Now, you can take the right side and not take CI. The part about that is you have to... My resistances are around 50 and 60, and it's kind of scary. So that's why I have CI on. If you can have max resistances with CI on, or with CI off, I mean, sorry. If you can have max resistances without CI on, you can take this right side, and you'll be great. Like, I tried it. I actually do like it without CI. You can take heavy buffer. You get 15% DR reduction. And I actually am able to take more energy shield recharge without using CI. So it is nice, you know, because if you take Soulless Form, your mana regen is super fast. It is really fast. So all these points, like I have mana regen right here and mana regen over here, right? If I take Soulless Form and I'm not on CI, that saves me a bunch of points that I can put into energy shield recharge rate or energy shield recharge start. So this is the downside of me taking CI, right? Because I have to take mana regen. The only reason I take mana regen is because of long boss fights and running out of mana potions and having to use mana pots to sustain constantly using this burns while also summoning pain offerings. That is the only reason I have a bunch of mana regen nodes over here. I could probably spec out of some. So that's the downside of me taking CI, having to spec for mana regen, right? And then what I actually have is the phylactery. Phylactery is super powerful. It's nice. Energy shield, increased damage, 3% attack speed. Offerings, a 50% increased duration once everything doubles. You can put whatever in here that you want. I don't have presence area in here because I'm always on top of the vultures, right? They're always in my presence and stuff. Rupture the Soul, not mandatory, but very nice to have, right? Not mandatory, but very, very nice to have. When I was playing with the Ritualist, I didn't even have Rupture the Soul. It was fine. It was just that bossing is kind of long because you have half the damage for your vultures, or 2/3 of the damage. And then Blackened Heart for more DPS is how I have this set up. So let's go over the passive tree. I have it spec'd to get as much energy shield as I can get with as few of the points as I can use. Right? I'm not going this way and taking this. I'm getting as much spirit as I can, specifically only so I can get 5 vultures. That's why I have this way. You could even path another, I guess, sidebar. I keep going off topic. If you're not on CI, you can actually travel this way and you get a bunch of extra energy shield. But yeah, back to the passive skill tree. I'm trying to take as much minion damage as I can. Trying to take as much minion damage. I used to take a lot of life. I have a little bit of life right here. Life right here. And then life in Vile Mending. I used to get a lot of life, even here, to maximize the ignite damage from Infernal Legion, but it's not worth it. I even have life right here too. I have this whole cross. But it wasn't worth it getting all these little ones because the damage was just fine for mapping. And then bossing damage, it was like, it wasn't that, you know, it was like I wasn't killing Zesht 10 seconds faster. Although I did kill Zesht in under 4 minutes before. So maybe it is, you know, 30-second difference, but whatever. Instead, I'm also taking like energy shield recharge, right? This is the reason why with energy barrier, you can just constantly use this, not have to worry about it. You can just sit there and tank hits. All the energy shield. There's one node in here that's kind of out of the ordinary, and it's minion fire resistance. I have to take this node so that way the vultures don't die from the Infernal Legion. If I don't take this node, they'll die. They'll start to just lose health. I am working on a solution for this by getting a jewel somewhere or some type of, maybe in here, in my phylactery, I can put in a sapphire that has elemental resistance for my minion, or some type of jewel that has elemental resistance, and then that'll free up maybe some points. So that's something that maybe I'm kind of looking into. So the build's not fully done, but for what it is and how I have it, it's pretty fun. I'm planning to make, you know, there's a lot of improvements I could make. So like you could even take these for more energy shield recharge, so that way you can really AFK certain things. We don't have enough damage to AFK simulacrum. If we had enough damage to clear fast enough, then we could AFK simulacrum, but we definitely don't have enough damage. That's pretty much it for the passive tree. I'll leave a link, you can check it out. Right, the thing with the witch is you get all these damage nodes, so that's why the ritualist will never be as strong. Even though the ritualist is nice, it has a lot of move speed, there's a lot of good quality of life. Your move speed counts as like an extra layer of defense. The other class that I'm considering doing this with is the Titan, because I know for a fact the Titan with hulking form has more minion damage straight up from the passive tree because of hulking form, and you get more minion life from all these small nodes. All these small nodes are 50%. These small elemental resistance nodes are also 50%. So there's a bunch of nodes that I can take to satisfy criteria for elemental resistance on the minions for these small nodes. So that's something I want to try to do with the Titan. Oh, I guess there's some other things too. Entropic Incarnation, 8% physical damage as chaos. Grand Spectrum Jewels. There's one thing that's in here that I didn't cover, the last thing, the Prism of Belief, right? This diamond. This guy, hopefully my thing is up, is how much? Let's go see how much this guy costs. I paid 40 divines for this. 79. Prices have gone up. Do not pay 79. Check on a different time of day, and I'm sure you'll find one that's at 50. But who knows? Maybe all of a sudden people will start buying spectres, and then the shit will shoot to the moon. But you can definitely do this with a 2 for 8. The thing that I've seen too is that I can run a map without this, just so you can see that you don't need this. It's nice to have, but you don't really need it. How much? I know it sounds crazy, right? Hold on. $34K. They're still at $34K. They're snapshotted. Well, anyway, never mind. I'll show a map without the Prism of Belief in there. Let me see if I can get them to come up. Yeah, they're snapshotted right now. We'll do a map without it, just to show the differences. But that's basically how I have the build set out for my Lich with the KFC build. I highly recommend trying this. The nice thing about this build too is that because it's spectre based, you can try a lot of different specters. As far as melee minions, the ones that act like this are the Ravenous Homunculus. That's one. He's basically the jumping guy from Simulacrum, and he costs around 70, so I can have a lot of them. The only thing is I don't know if it's worth it. It could be fun, maybe not. And they have pushback. And then you know, who else, whatever else is out there. There's some ideas out there. Okay, so let's talk about the cost, the downsides. So the Vile Vulture, I have him right here. It's 88 spirit reservation, right? But the cost of these guys are a lot. It is a lot. This is probably the biggest downside, right? They're 120. I don't think they're worth 120. I wish they, you know, readjust some of the costs on some of these spirits, or they introduce a rare version where it's more damage, just like the Death Knight. If you don't know, there's a Death Knight out there. And if you get the rare version of the Death Knight, they do like 1 million DPS per hit. Like 800k to 1 million DPS per hit. The problem with the Death Knight is it's slower than my grandma, right? It's so slow. Like, you can't even use those Death Knights to kill Count Genor, because Count Genor is too fast. Count Genor's moving around. The Death Knights, they have too long of a wind up, but they're great for bosses that stand still. But yeah, if you look at the cost of this spirit or this specter, it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's my favorite. So I have it right here as 88 spirit cost. That's because of this 5% reduced reservation, this new talisman, right? It costs 7 divines right now on market. I got it for 17 because I fucking couldn't wait and I wanted to try it. Other places you have reduced reservation costs are obviously off here. You know, reduced reservation on Lord of Horrors. That's kind of mandatory. Everyone knows. Everyone's kind of aware of that already. And then you want quality. Reduced quality whenever you have max quality on this. So with that, with how much spirit I have 513 spirit. You can mix and match. You can actually go 3 with 6, and it's kind of nice, you know. It's still nice having you can even have a front line with just damage dealing storm mages. So you could go all kinds of like builds essentially. You can even play primarily storm mage as your as your damage dealers, and then you can have like one frontline Vile Vulture if you want. So that way you don't really have to worry too much. You can have one Vile Vulture in front, and he doesn't even have to hit that hard, right? He's just there to kind of initiate. Or, you know, you say fuck it. You go straight up. Straight up storm mages. That's a problem too, you know? It's just for how I play and how I want to play it. I really enjoy having 5 of them and just sending them out like a heat-seeking missile, you know? Especially in maps where I don't have high delirium and I'm trying to clear these maps fast. I just go in, kill them, and it's super fun. I think I might go for that and replace my golem. Yep. You know? Especially towards endgame when you have a lot of spirit and you're looking for fun ways to play. I find this super enjoyable. This is like my off-brand meme build. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. Try it out. Check out these maps, you know, or check out some of these videos. These maps I'll have at the end of the video. All right, so here's a map without the Prism of Belief. I don't have it in here. Let's look at it. These guys are at 25k DPS without the Prism of Belief. This is more than my Ritualist. My Ritualist with everything was only 23k. So I know this works for sure. The map mods is nothing crazy, right? I'm not running any Delirium. Like, you'll be fine with Delirium. It'll just probably still take you a little bit. And then we're running Blasphemy again. Right, you know what? Let's go. I just want to try it for a second. What happens if we run this with 6 Storm Mages? Right, this is for everyone who wants to. You could like do a hybrid if you want to do a hybrid. See, and it feels really good, right? Look at the Storm Mages pick off and clean while you have these like big vultures that initiate for you. Like if you want to just have them initiate and clear, you could totally do that if you wanted to. You could 0 bun. It's just I like to play this where I just have 5 heat-seeking missiles. Because the Storm Mages are always in the back, man. They're always in the back of the class, sitting in the back, copying each other's homework, fucking doing fucking off. Those Storm Mages, like every ranged minion is so far in the back, fucking off. These guys are like the honor students sitting in the front of the class, taking notes, listening to everything I say with intent, not sleeping and shit. See, so you see the difference where you have vultures versus like a set of Storm Mages in the back? And obviously if the map doesn't have as much delirium in it, well, I could just run through. Alright, wait for him to jump. Or fuck, cast a pain offering so that way they jump faster. See, if there was a way for us to stack even more attack speed, these, like if I had 2 sockets, they would be jumping crazy. See, right? It's not like with the Storm Mages, I gotta wait. Sometimes I gotta leap slam in there. I gotta do all this shit to get them to do work and stuff. They're freaking a part of a union, doing their union time, taking their mandatory breaks. These guys are like, they're trying to get the job. And keep in mind, this is without the Prism of Belief, right? And also, this is for mapping for sure. You might think like, oh yeah, it's not good for T4. And you'd be right. It's not good for T4. Unless you're fighting Zesht and you just cheap him out like what I do. Like Olroth is probably the same thing. As long as you don't get frozen by Olroth, you could cheap him out. You can just incinerate and then constantly regen energy shield and just cheap him out over time. Here, let's go to this boss. It's so nice a minion that tanks for you. Oh yeah. And he does damage. And they do damage is the best part. They clear for you. So here is a boss, right? The Rust King. But this is like T5 map. Like, this is fine. But this is their damage, see? This is the damage with maximum boss points. Well, no, I have 8 boss points, right? And this is basically what it looks like when you fight Zesh. You have to sit here. Wait, where's my shock? Oh, do I not have a Storm Mage? That's right. Right, so bossing definitely hurts if you don't have a +3 prism. Still viable, still fun, still quick. But you have to deal with that. And that has to be something you're willing to, like, have the trade-off for, which I am. I definitely am. I'm definitely willing to have that trade-off so I can send heat-seeking missile Korean fried chicken.